When you picture kings in Indian history, who comes to mind? Maybe Chandragupta Maurya, the great empire builder, or Samudragupta, the undefeated conqueror, or Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the warrior defender of Hind. History loves these military heroes, right? But let's also bring in a king who wielded no sword, but instead painted the canvas of his kingdom with the rich colors of music and dance. Wajid Ali Shah, the Nawab of Awadh. While history often prefers narratives filled with battles and bravery, Wajid Ali Shah's story is one of art, love, and undeniable aesthetics. In today's episode, we'll explore the life of a ruler who, against all odds, dedicated himself to the flourishing of culture in India. A ruler who was defamed by British colonial writers, and we modern Indians have sadly not corrected it. Let's dive in. Wajid Ali Shah was born on July 30th, 1822 in Lucknow. He was the second son and initially not in line for the throne. His father, Prince Amjad Ali Shah, and his great uncle Ghazi-ud-Din Haidar Shah was the ruling Nawab. Now, some may think that great uncle means Mahan or important uncle. It simply means the father's or the mother's uncle. Yeah, bad joke, I know, sorry, okay, but chalo. However, fate had other plans. In a dramatic political twist, Wajid Ali Shah suddenly found himself in line for kingship at just 15 years old when his own grandfather was enthroned by the British East India Company. In 1842, when he was just 21, he became heir apparent, and his journey took a decisive turn towards artistic patronage rather than military exploits. Crowned as the Nawab of Awadh in 1847, Wajid Ali Shah set forth to uplift the cultural landscape of Awadh, creating a court that was nothing short of a vibrant artistic hub. It was a place where dancers, musicians, and poets gathered in harmony to celebrate their heritage. I wish they had some authors as well. I know some good authors, but the Nawab didn't just patronize the arts. He was an artist himself. He composed approximately 40 musical pieces showcasing his creative genius. The piece Babul Mora Naihar Chuto Hi Jaye stands out, beautifully capturing a heartfelt farewell of a daughter leaving her father's house after marriage.
Babul Mora Naihar Chuto Hi Jaye.
Poignantly, this musical piece also reflected the sorrow the Nawab would himself later face as he was exiled from his capital, Lucknow. You might find it difficult to believe, but according to Rosie Llewellyn-Jones's book, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, it's a Welsh name, difficult to pronounce. Rosie Llewellyn-Jones's book, The Last King in India, Wajid Ali Shah, during his private music lessons, the Nawab continuously tapped his feet, which greatly irritated his teacher, who slapped him so hard that it resulted in permanent hearing loss in 1 year. यार ये कैसा टीचर था यार? मतलब आजकल ऐसा कोई टीचर करेगा तो पुलिस केस हो जाएगा यार. Anyway, yet despite this disability, a particularly severe disability for a music composer, he continued to create music relying on his other senses. To me, this shows his never say die attitude and his passion for his craft, something all of us can learn from, particularly those of us who are artists. Wajid Ali Shah didn't just stop at music. He revolutionized Kathak as well. Kathak was essentially a storytelling folk dance at that time. Wajid Ali Shah took it from the streets and fields to the courts and gave it the structure and form that we see today, transforming it into a classical dance form that narrates stories through expressive movements and intricate footwork. Picture a grand performance at his court where every spin and gesture articulated legends of love and devotion. Being a keen dancer himself, he invited the finest dancers of that time like Durga Prasad ji and Thakur Prasad ji to his court to perform with him, embracing his identity as an artist. An essential aspect of the Nawab's life was his inclusivity. He celebrated Holi, a festival of colors typically associated with Hindu and Dharmic traditions, exemplifying his love for all cultures. He even celebrated the birthday of Lord Krishna, acknowledging the rich tapestry of beliefs that coexisted in Awadh. By the way, it may interest you to know that Awadh is essentially part of the same region as Ayodhya, the legendary city that served as the capital of Lord Ram's empire. Hence, the iconic folk song from that era, from Nawab Wajid Ali Shah's era, Holi Khele Raghuvira Awadh Mein. I'm sure all of you would have heard this song. Awesome song.
अरे होरी खेले रघुबीरा अवध में होरी खेले रघुबीरा अरे के करे हाथे ढोलक भल सोहे किसके हाथ में ढोलक है और किसके हाथ में मंजीरा है आंसर भी लोक देता है राम जी के हाथे ढोलक भल सोहे ढोलक भल सोहे ढोलक भल सोहे लक्ष्मण हाथे मंजीरा अवध में होरी खेले रघुबीरा.
Wajid Ali Shah was not only dedicated to the arts but also actively supported his subjects during hardships. Some historians say he established several charitable institutions and schools to help the people regardless of their creed or caste. His genuine efforts brought hope and stability during famines, making him a beloved figure in his kingdom. In terms of governance, the Nawab made strides in reforming the taxation system to lighten the burden on his subjects. He understood that a prosperous community meant a secure rule. His aim to ensure fair tax practices and promote agriculture helped create a stable economy, especially important during those challenging times. He seamlessly balanced governance with philanthropy, believing that a ruler's duty extends beyond the throne to the well-being of his people. One cannot speak of Wajid Ali Shah without mentioning the Galouti Kebab. Legend has it that due to his dental issues, the Nawab needed a softer option for him to indulge in his well-known fondness for food. The solution? The creation of the Galouti Kebab, a dish so tender that it melts in your mouth. I'm sure आपने खाया तो होगा गलौटी कबाब कभी भी लखनऊ गए हो तो या कलकत्ता में भी मिलता है. It was crafted with a unique blend of spices and flavors. Wajid Ali Shah's reign came to a tragic end when Awadh was annexed by the British in 1856 under the pretense of mismanagement, like the British did a good job. This dethronement led to a dramatic exile, marking a significant shift in his life. Instead of fading into obscurity, he moved to Kolkata and turned Mithya Bros in Kolkata into a mini Lucknow. His spirit of creativity didn't let confinement stifle it. Instead, it flourished. Even in exile, the Nawab continued to embody the essence of his culture. He organized gatherings, celebrated his art, and ensured that the traditions of Awadh, especially through music and dance, lived on. His life in Kolkata became a blend of nostalgia and the celebration of his heritage, proving that creativity knows no bounds even when faced with adversity. He passed away in 1887, leaving behind a rich cultural legacy that reshaped Indian music, dance, and cuisine. When you savor Galouti kebabs or see a Kathak performance or listen to Hindustani classical music, you can bet that Wajid Ali Shah's spirit is delighted, probably giving a little nod from the beyond to you and your good tastes. So, How should we remember Wajid Ali Shah? Should we remember him merely as a historical footnote or a dazzling cultural star? The answer is clear. He was a multifaceted ruler whose love for the arts was matched only by his compassion for his people. While the British sought to undermine India's identity, the Nawab embraced the idea of unity through art. The British defamed this great Nawab as effete and debauched. Isn't it time that we undo that colonial narrative, that biased colonial narrative? For he was much more than a king. He was a cultural ambassador who brought people together, proving that while others sought division, his heart beat for a vibrant, diverse, and yet united India. Leave comments below on what you think of Wajid Ali Shah and his legacy. And you know what I'm going to do? I will curl up and listen to Rag Malkons once again. And as I listen to the strains of this raga dedicated to my god, Lord Shiva, I will thank a long dead, misunderstood Muslim from Lucknow who played a remarkable role in ensuring that a delicate, beautiful facet of our collective heritage remained alive. So this was the Immortal India podcast with me, Amish. If you like this episode, like and share it, please. And if you want to receive the notification for the next episode, click subscribe on this link. This podcast is supported by the Dilip Piramal Foundation. The Dilip Piramal Foundation is an initiative by renowned industrialist Dilip Piramal to support dharmic causes across India and the world. In this aim, the foundation has supported art galleries, documentaries, dharamshalas, education, and many other such initiatives.